Syosset has not been able to get anything settled. Here's a good look at it. Low shot. And Keptis comes up with a save on the kick.
Yeah, Kempton with the save, and I think the shot, it wasn't, he didn't get all that he wanted on that shot, and I think that's what, and here's a turnover.
Here's Syosset, but a whistle. Looks like that's going to go against the Braves.
I think it was Hatsopoulos with that initial shot, and I don't think he got everything on that he wanted, and I think it confused Kempton for a second. You know, it's almost like you mentioned hockey, you know, one of those deflected shots that a goal is expecting a certain velocity, and then it changes.
How about Tierney here? Literally 4 guys on him, fires low, another kick save down this side. Well, the goalies and the defenses have come to play today. Ground ball picked up by Linsky of Massapequa. Unsettled situation again, but the 6 defenders for Syosset fan out quickly. You would think there'd be an opportunity. Now there was Delina. No, Tierney just fires down low and goes low to high for the goal.
Well, that first goal comes with 9:22 left in the second quarter, and it is Ryan Tierney. He'll go on and play for his dad, Seth, right here down the, not too far down the street here at Hofstra, and he has been the man this year, and really, you know, Tim Radomski said he's challenged him at the start of this year. You look at the guys last year, and the undisputed leader of that team last year, that first New York State Championship team, was Craig Burge, and Tierney played a supporting role. And this year, this is Tierney's team, and it's something that he's accepted, and he's certainly flourished with that new role.
29th goal of the season for Ryan Tierney. He set that thing up pretty much all by himself. At one point in that position, there were literally 4 guys right around him. Somehow he rolled out of a sideline trouble and evaded what Massapequa thought was a slash to the helmet as well. No penalty ended up being called. And you wonder if that one goal might start to get both teams going offensively. We shall see. But finally, Massapequa breaks through first. Here comes Hawthorne on his horse and sent back behind the cage at X. Massapequa going to the 1-3-2 offense. Up top, they go to Tierney again. Steps in front, pulls one wide as Tierney hits the turf well after the shot.
Yeah.
And a penalty will be called.
Yeah, Aronson came up late, elbow, and he'll come off. Delina not happy with Aronson again. We saw those 2 guys earlier on going helmet to helmet. Now Aronson goes off, and really, you know, again, the correlations between the sports are obvious, but just like in hockey, the best way to respond to a penalty, the best way is not with your mouth and not with a retaliation. It's with a goal in the back of the net.
And just like in hockey, when you lose one of your best defensemen to a penalty, that makes it even worse. So Danny Ox comes on, the younger brother of the other goalie on this team. A cross feed and a beautiful pass and goal for Massapequa. As Griff Conan with a nice little soft touch in front, and Massapequa goes on top 2-0.
And again, it looks like that was Tierney setting that up with that cross crease pass, and that's one of the things about Massapequa. When they're in and around the goal, and they could pass the ball the way they do, they are almost unstoppable when they could get that ball movement going. And we have a timeout now for Syosset.
Timeout with 8:06 to go, and all of a sudden the Braves find themselves down 2-0. Offensively, they've been a little challenged. And you see on the outside of the huddle there, in the jacket and the white baseball cap, that's Nick Hatzapetrakis. He would be the other senior holdover from that 2012 team. He actually got hurt during football season, injured his knee, and had to have surgery on his knee. But he has been at every single practice, at every single game, and he's hoping that he might be able to get cleared for the postseason there. That's still up in the air and to be determined. But John Calabria went out of his way to make sure that Nick Hatzapetrakis was talked about, because of the fact that even though there was a possibility he might not play a second this season, he has still been here. Like another coach on the field, has taken in every single practice. And we were talking to him before the game. He said he's feeling all right. It's still, again, up in the air as in terms of if he's going to be able to play in the postseason. But he says, hey, you know what? I'm still going to be playing in college. So he doesn't seem too down about it as you would think he could.
By the way, apologies to Carter Hawthorne. He had the assist. The first play was Kimmel making a strong move to the cage and went to Hawthorne, cross crease, and the goal. And another face-off win. Phil Brady at the X. So good for Massapequa and the Chiefs with another possession.
There have not been too many to have the edge on Phil Brady this season. Here is Javoli into the offensive box, mostly a short stick defensive midfielder, but he's had a few goals this year. Heading to Yale next year is just shy of 10 goals, 9 on the season. It's a pretty good output for a short stick defensive midfielder primarily. And Dylan, I don't think that Syosset has had the ball yet in this second quarter. Here's Tierney again, fires one on quickly on a sharp angle, and that goes wide, out of play.
No, you make a great point. I don't think they have. I think it's all been on this end of the field. And again, an offense so productive as Massapequa's is, averaging nearly 15 goals a game. Eventually, they're going to get the ball in the back of the net.
Hawthorne moves up top. Delina now. A Delphi bound. Delina's pass intended for Conan, but it goes out of bounds, and that will be Syosset ball. This might be their first opportunity to get the ball on offense in this quarter with 5 minutes played.
And Calabria talked about the ride of Massapequa. Might be the best part of their game.
Beautiful pass up ahead to Alardo. Quick stick. This one hits the side of the netting as the fans here thought that it went in. Concannon might have gotten tripped up, but no call. Play continues.
Yeah, he did an unbelievable job just keeping the ball in. He had a dance along that end line and spun and got out of trouble and kept his possession alive.
He got his feet taken out from underneath him when he jumped up into the air. And Syosset wise to take a little bit of time here. You know, we just talked about it. Your defense has been playing on their side of the field for 5 straight minutes. So work the ball around, take a little time off the clock. Let everybody touch the ball. It's been a little while. And then you can start to move. Again, this is an offense that's predicated on the attack. The midfielders do score as well, but the big gaudier numbers on the attack side. That one's wings wide, past Kempton. But even still, it's been one of the more potent midfielders for John Calabria's crew. He says a good year goal scoring wise for some of my midfielders will be about 15 goals a game, and they're all at that or surpassed it with still 3 games left to play in the season after this one.
Yeah, Coulter had that last shot. He has 13 goals in this season, so that's right along what Calabria is saying.
Here's Alex Concannon behind the cage. At X, he's being bothered by Bernardi. Bennis calling for it way up top. They didn't see him, though. Here's Hatsopoulos. Changes direction. 5:14 to go in the quarter, down by 2. Bennis with it. Near side it comes. Here's a good look. Winging this one on a sidearm wide was Concannon.
A good ball movement there for the Braves, and they got the ball to one of the guys they certainly want to have it, and Concannon just off the mark whizzed the ball wide, but Syosset maintains possession.
But this would be, I would say, the most complete and consistent offensive possession that Syosset has had so far today.
No doubt.
Everybody's touched the ball. They haven't been pressured too much on the outside. Here's Coulter with it. Coulter shooting on the run and scores. Lucas Coulter, his 14th goal this season. And Syosset is on the board with 4:44 to go in the first half.
I'm not sure that you could stress enough how important that goal is. One, because it is their first, so you get the offense going a little bit. And two, it's because you're trailing 2-0 right now. You can't give a team like Massapequa a big lead, especially how stout they are defensively, and expect to come back. They're not that type of team. So big goal there. It's 2-1. Another important face-off here. And again, we mentioned him a second ago. His previous shot didn't miss by much, and that one found the back of the net for his 14th goal of the year.
How's this for a scouting report that John Calabria gave us of Lucas Coulter? Says he runs down the field like a freight train. You don't often see a guy shooting that powerfully on the run. Yavoli lost the ball out of his stick. Syosset finally a face-off win. Here comes Kincannon. Or at least they're able to create the turnover off the face-off. And all of a sudden the Braves playing with a little more swagger, a little more confidence in the waning minutes of this first half. So Kincannon will patiently wait on the near side of the restraining box. The Braves trail by 1 now. It was 2 quick goals for Massapequa to start the quarter. Syosset trying to add a couple to end this second quarter. A low pass. Now Barnathan battling for this one, and we'll have a whistle and a flag. And that looks like it's going to go against Massapequa.
A contact to the head, I think it was. Or a slash.
I'll say a slash, officially 1-minute penalty on Barnathan.
And second timeout of the first half taken by Massapequa.
I gotta admit, I did not see the penalty, but it was a very good job by Hatsopoulos, I believe, on the near side, battling for it. Because he and Barnathan were going right at it, but
and that's been all game, really.
Used the body really well.
That's been all game between those two guys as well. And again, a lot of really great individual matchups. Kind of started there with a ball on the ground.
Got to correct myself. That was Lucas Coulter.
Yeah.
Drawing that penalty and winning the ground ball battle. Join Mike Quick and Jimmy Cavallo every Tuesday night as they unveil the Tri-State Top 20 Boys Lacrosse Poll. Log on to MSGVarsity.com to find out which schools will make this week's poll. Tuesday at 7 p.m. on MSGVarsity.com, only on Optimum.
Well, we certainly know 2 of the top 3 teams in this week's poll because they're on the field right now with Massapequa number 1, Syosset number 3. So obviously this game means a whole lot for both of these teams, certainly. And we saw it when we were at the Lynbrook Carey game, and Mike Quick was here, and he's here again. This is one of those games that's pretty pivotal in terms of the Tri-State Top 20. How far does a loser of this game drop? And if you're Syosset at 3, you know, if they pull this game off, do you move up to 1?
They very well might. I mean, John Calabria had some interesting stuff to say about this game. We'll get to that shortly.
First EMO for Syosset.
And they're trying to draw the equalizer with 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Here's Coulter, who had the game's first goal for Syosset. Now quick ball movement for the Braves. Look inside, a bouncer. This just pulled wide. Good look for Lanning. And it will just go out of bounds. That was a nice find down low, and Lanning able to find that little soft spot in the zone. Here's a shot one wide again by Hatsopoulos. Syosset's starting to get some real grade A opportunities now. O'Keefe up top. Kincannon straight away. 3:09 to go. There's just a few seconds left on this penalty. Pass in front, knocked down, eventually finds its way into the netting of Kempton. And Syosset on the ride now, completely hounding Sean Gleason.
Ooh.
And Gleason is going to get a penalty for that one. He came in hard on a cross-check. Either way you look at it, if you want to call it a loose ball push or a cross-check, the official signals cross-check, and that is a big difference from 30 seconds to a minute. It's going to be a minute-long penalty.
And there you see the official call, 1 minute cross-check. And I believe, is Barnathan out? He is back on.
And this is where, Dylan, this is where cooler heads have to prevail, because, again, you have to remember they're high school guys, so this can happen. But Eric Aronson, he put his stick in the ground like he was getting ready to go to the aid of his teammates. And right away, John Calabria called him over to the sideline, had a word with him. And I don't think Tim Radomski was too happy with that, but John Calabria made sure, all right, listen, we know you're psyched up for this game. We know you want to protect your bud, but you got to be smart and you got to be respectful also. So good job by John Calabria trying to make sure that this game does not get into an area where nobody wants it to go. Kincannon Here's Coulter down low, 5-hole goal by Hatsopoulos, and we are tied at 2.